Hello and welcome. So, you're thinking about moving to North Carolina's booming Triangle area? You and a lot of other people. Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to cut through the noise and break down the real data to find the absolute safest, best communities for you and your family. Okay, let's just dive right in. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's what keeps people up at night when they're planning a big move. You want that peace of mind. You want to feel safe in your neighborhood, but you also need it to be affordable. Don't worry, we're going to answer that exact question, and we're going to use hard numbers to do it. So, before we drill down into specific towns around Raleigh and Durham, I think it's super helpful to just zoom out for a second. Let's get a feel for the state as a whole. How does North Carolina actually stack up against the rest of the country when it comes to safety? And this chart gives us our first big clue. Right off the bat, you can see North Carolina's violent crime rate is 3.7 per 1,000 people. Now look at the U.S. average. It's 4.2. So what does that tell us? It tells us that, statistically speaking, the state as a whole is already a safer than average place to call home. That's a great starting point. Okay, just a quick definition so we're all on the same page. When we talk about crime data, it's usually split into two big buckets. You've got property crime, that's stuff like theft or vandalism, and then you've got violent crime. Now, the really important thing to know is that the suburbs we're about to look at, they have incredibly low numbers in both of these categories. All right, let's get to the main event, the reason you're here. We are zooming right into the Raleigh Durham area, famously known as the Triangle. It is one of the hottest relocation spots in the entire country, and believe me, when you see these numbers, you'll understand why. Just take a look at this number. 0.42. That is the violent crime rate per 1,000 people in Morrisville. Now remember, the state average was 3.7. This isn't just a little better, it's a whole different world. And stats like this are exactly why families and tech professionals are flocking to these suburbs. It's just wow. So yeah, Morrisville is right at the top of the list, which makes it a huge magnet for tech families since it's so close to the Research Triangle Park, or RTP. But look, it's not alone. Right behind it, you've got amazing towns like Cary, Holly Springs, and Apex, all with ridiculously low crime rates. Now, definitely pay attention to that buyer tip column. It gives you that crucial little piece of insider advice for each town, like how Cary comes with a premium price tag, or that Morrisville has a pretty tight supply of single-family homes. I get it. With so many fantastic options, your head can start to spin a little. It can be overwhelming. So to make things easier, let's put the top 3 safest suburbs, our big 3, in a head-to-head showdown. We'll see how they really compare for different kinds of homebuyers. Okay, first up, Cary versus Apex. Cary is what a lot of people call the suburban gold standard. It has a reputation for being the safest large city in the state. The schools are top-notch, but all of that comes with a premium price. Then you have Apex. It offers almost the exact same level of safety, but the median home price is just a bit more within reach. Plus, it has this incredibly charming historic downtown. It's an absolutely fantastic choice for families who want that Cary feel without the Cary price tag. Now, let's swap in Morrisville and compare it to Apex. For a lot of people, this decision boils down to one single massive factor: the daily commute. I mean, Morrisville is literally next door to the Research Triangle Park. You just can't beat it if you're a tech family and have to go into the office. So, what's the catch? Well, there's a much smaller supply of single-family homes. Apex, on the other hand, gives you more of that classic suburban neighborhood feel, but you're tacking on a little more drive time to get to RTP. So if you're trying to remember all this, just think of it like this simple formula. This is your cheat sheet. If you want the absolute best of the best, the gold standard with amazing schools, and you're comfortable with that premium price, that's Cary. If you want awesome safety but at a better entry price point, you're looking at Apex. And if your number one non-negotiable priority is the shortest possible commute to a tech job at RTP, then Morrisville is your hands-down winner. Simple as that. And speaking of the commute, let's get real for a minute. Let's talk about the practical, day in, day out reality of living in the Triangle. Because honestly, it doesn't matter how safe and beautiful a town is if a terrible commute just drains the life out of you every single day. Let's be crystal clear about this. You will be driving. This is a car-centric area, and public transit just isn't the main way people get to work here. And while you might hope for a 30-minute drive, you really need to plan for a 30 to 45 minutes, especially during rush hour. But here's the most important piece of advice I can give you. Before you fall in love with a suburb, confirm your company's work-from-home policy. Seriously, Knowing if you're in the office 5 days a week or just one can completely change where you decide to look. Okay, we have thrown a ton of data at you. So now what? Let's turn all this information into a clear, simple action plan. This is your step-by-step guide to doing your own homework and feeling 100% confident in picking the perfect, safe suburb for your family. Okay, step one, don't just take my word for it. Always check the data yourself on official police or town websites. Step two, start layering in other info, like school ratings, and check out the parks and libraries. Step three, do your street-level homework. Use Google Street View, and if you can, visit in person at different times of the day and night. Step four, this one's huge, go online to places like Reddit forums for these towns and ask real locals your specific questions. And finally, step five, look into the practical stuff like how quickly the police and fire departments respond to calls. If you follow this process, you'll have total confidence in your final choice. So we'll end on this final thought. The numbers are fantastic. They point you toward the safest neighborhoods, which is absolutely critical. But the final decision, that comes down to something the data can't tell you. It comes down to the vibe. Is your family all about youth sports leagues and sprawling parks like you'd find in Holly Springs and Apex? Or are you more into small-town festivals and grabbing a local craft beer, like in Wake Forest? Because the safest choice is always going to be the one that also truly feels like home.